What is a garden in the streets of New York City? What does it mean to be inside a garden? What is a festival? Is it a congregation of people coming together? Is it a celebration of a combination of different concepts brought in the same space? Is it a theme of the same concepts where everything is in alignment? XRE is curious as to what a festival garden is, and as we're making it, we're discovering it on this journey. The buds of new flowers blossoming in the spring, the darkening of leaves of the trees in the summer as the heat comes up and it starts to dehydrate the trees and branches. And yet a festival of humanity kind of brought XRE together. We were in a pandemic, and we still are. And yet at the beginning of the pandemic, the incredible amount of pain and suffering and stratification from one another also caused artists to yearn for a desire to connect and collaborate. Also caused artists to have a desire to be stagnant and still and listen and meditate. Also caused artists to have a desire to surrender to the void. As a wall of cement gives a crack in its space to allow this beautiful greenery to grow through it, we started to discover that maybe a festival garden is about learning how to dialogue together even if we don't agree, even if we're completely different, even if we're as different as cement and a piece of grass. And it's not just on the delicate walls of the buildings, it's also on the pavements in the street. Cracks of earth coming up through the man-made concrete. And in a festival, there's a sense of cross-collaboration that brings us all together. Interdisciplinary, international artists, fusing with different mediums, different technologies, different genres. And part of XRE's journey has been to bring these beings a little closer together. And as we do this, XRE gets a little closer together. This is a story about our garden, of the New York City realism of gardens everywhere you go, of a festival in this city everywhere you go, the festival of reflection, the festival of silence, the festival of chaos on the MTA train streets and subways in and out, up and down stairs, the festival of the horns honking in the streets, even when there's nowhere for cars to move, the festival of pigeons perching themselves and plonking their feces on the edges of buildings. The festival of curiosity of people that have a hunger to come and make it in the concrete jungle. And yet this concrete jungle is surrounded by earth. The water flowing around the island and the mainland. The original landowners who teach us about the soil, the First Nations people. The festival of construction sounds constantly happening in these city streets. It's a story about how gardens blossom and go through 4 seasons, all in one year. Coming together, coming apart, having a period of emptiness, having a period of blossoming joy. Our journey has been one to learn how to dialogue. Learning how to dialogue between different mediums that don't often connect. Learning how to dialogue even when we're different. Learning to cross-collaborate even if there's nothing in the space between us to create yet. Learning to cross-collaborate when there's a hunger and a drive to create something between the empty space. It's a festival of life, the festival of pain, the festival of mourning that brought us together. Laughing in backyards, twisting our heads at different angles for different understandings, a desire to be curious and investigate perspectives. This is our festival garden, a journey we will always be on.